I'm Ryan Cummings from R&R Law Group. Welcome to Your Brother at Law. We simplify Arizona law and break down legal processes to make them easier to understand. Let's get started. Today we've been asked a different question. It's a great question. It says, now that marijuana is legal in Arizona, can I still get a DUI? And the short answer is yes. Basically what it means is that, marijuana is a legal substance, just like alcohol is a legal substance, but you can still get a DUI in Arizona, driving under the influence or an actual physical control. But here's what it means. With alcohol cases, anything above a 0.08 is what's called a per se limit, meaning that if they draw your blood or you breathe into the breathalyzer machine and your blood alcohol concentration is above a 0.08, that means that you are, by law, black and white definition of it, you are guilty of a DUI at that 0.08 level. What it means for marijuana, though, is we don't have that per se level, meaning if they draw your blood and it comes back with 5 nanograms of THC in your blood, it doesn't automatically mean that you are guilty of a DUI. What has to happen then is, the drug DUI in Arizona was classified as the A3 violation. That was just the differentiations under the substatutes. What A1, 28-1381A1 is driving under the influence with a drug or metabolite in your system, which impaired your ability to drive to at least the slightest degree. That's on the A1 statute. Now, in order to prove the A3 statute, they also have to be able to prove, the state has to prove the A1 statute, which means that you are impaired at least to the slightest degree. So again, what does that mean? That means that your ability to function in the car was impaired, meaning that you couldn't function it as though you would have been able to function it if there was no THC in your system. How does the state go about trying to prove that? Well, they try and use the field sobriety test. Now, again, and we've talked about in some other videos, the field sobriety tests really aren't meant for marijuana DUIs. They are meant for alcohol. NHTSA, who is the National Highway of Safety Transportation Administration, they're the ones that did the studies to show on alcohol-related DUIs, what's the probability of your blood alcohol concentration being above a 0.08? And that's how all of these studies were done and how they were validated. Okay, so when they say that you failed a field sobriety test, you don't actually pass or fail. These are just going to be the ability for them to say, is it more likely or not that your blood alcohol concentration is above a 0.08? That's where they use those cues on there. So in marijuana DUIs, technically, that doesn't happen. The field sobriety tests aren't relatable to marijuana DUIs or marijuana consumption or marijuana impairment. The reason for that being is that most of the experts would testify that in order to determine whether or not you are impaired by marijuana, you would have to do a task with no THC in your system. And then in order to determine impairment, we would add THC into the system. And then at the point in which you were unable to complete that task or it was substantially impaired, that's when you would be impaired by that THC in your system. So we really don't have that in marijuana DUIs. So what else do they have? Well, really not much other than that. Now they can do something that's called a DRE or a drug recognition. They call it expert these days. It used to be called a drug recognition evaluation, meaning that they're going to throw you through a subject of a different bunch of tests in order to determine, are you outside of what they call a normal range? What's your heart rate? Do your pupils dilate in a dark room? And a whole bunch of different tests that they can use to try and determine, is your body reacting in a way that is different or outside of what they call a normal range? So these are the things that they try and use to prove impairment on a marijuana DUI. But marijuana DUIs right now are, they're tough to prove. There's a lot more defenses now that marijuana is legalized, because it used to just be if it was present in your system, you were per se guilty of a DUI. But now that marijuana is a legal substance, it's a lot harder for them to be able to prove those certain things. And that's why having an aggressive attorney on your case and someone who knows the law and knows these DUIs, that's very important to get you the best outcome that you can ask for. So if you've got a marijuana DUI or you have a marijuana DUI question, give us a call. We'll talk to you about your strategy and your outcomes that you can have. Thanks for joining today. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more valuable insights. We'll see you next video.